In 1979, this little film called Alien was released. A film about these crazy alien creatures that would get inside you and burst out and then had molecular acid for blood. It was a scary, great, tense adventure. There were a number of alien films that followed. In 2012, we had Prometheus. Now, Prometheus was supposed to be a prequel to Alien, or at least a prequel to a prequel of Alien. It had mixed reviews, Prometheus did. And now we have Alien Covenant just released. Now, I was a little leery to go see Alien Covenant because of Prometheus. Prometheus, to me, was, while a beautiful looking film, very infuriating to watch in terms of the story, in terms of the characters and their actions. Now, the thing with Ridley Scott is when he's good, he is great. He is, always visually amazing, no matter what his film is. But sometimes I think he doesn't pay attention to story. And that's happened in a few of his films. And that seemed to me to be what happened with Prometheus. Now, Alien Covenant, I saw it, and I actually liked it. I would say that I enjoyed this movie. It wasn't perfect by any means, maybe not even a great film, but it was a good movie. And it actually, I think, makes Prometheus a better movie. So I'm going to go through some of the things that I actually liked about this movie. There were a bunch of things that I didn't like. A lot of the same kind of stuff that happened in Prometheus. But now a warning, there may be spoilers in this. Who am I kidding? There will be spoilers in this. It's hard to actually talk about a film critically at all if you don't mention some of the things that actually happen. So I'll try to keep them to a minimum. But yeah, you've been warned. Some of the things I say may give away some plot points. Probably won't take away from the enjoyment of the film, but still, if you haven't seen it, be wary of proceeding further. First of all, what I did like, again, visually stunning. The look of the ship, the look of the planet is what you would expect both from Ridley Scott and an Alien film. It's interesting that as I was watching the crew aboard their spaceship, it made me think Ridley Scott sort of established that look of a rough sort of crew in their very utilitarian ship. It's not like the sleek Star Trek look or a Star Wars look. It's very utilitarian, and it looks lived in. And that look continues. Even though it's a different ship from a different time, it feels like you're watching an Alien movie. In fact, I think this movie feels more like Alien than it does Prometheus, although it does connect the two rather nicely. The other thing I liked was the story, the way that it connected the stuff that we had seen in Prometheus and the stuff that is going to happen in Alien. We pick up with this crew on a colonizing ship, headed to some planet so far away, it's going to take another 7.5 years to get to. So they're all in cryosleep. They have about 2,000 colonists in cryosleep, a bunch of embryos, and then, of course, a crew of about, I think it was 15 or 16 to maintain the ship if necessary, but they're also in cryosleep. And, of course, we have our synthetic who is awake the whole time, and the computer, the ship, is called Mother. Something goes wrong, and the crew has to be awakened to deal with the problems, fix the ship. As they're doing this, they lose their original captain, and their new guy takes over, and they come across a signal coming from another planet, fairly close by, just a couple of weeks away. And they figure they should investigate. And also, it seems like a planet that could be inhabitable. So they decide to go there. They go down, of course, onto the planet, and that's when everything goes to hell. One of the highlights of this film is Michael Fassbender. He is amazing in this, just as he was in Prometheus. In Prometheus, he played the synthetic David. In this, he plays a new synthetic Walter. You really relate more to Walter, I think, than any other character in the film. And we also have him playing David in this film. So when they get to meet and the scenes where he's interacting with himself, they were just fantastic to watch. More of that in the movie would have made it even better. Now, this is not a scary movie. Unlike Alien, which had this nice slow build and this creation of tension, this really had none of that. I mean, there was a few sort of jump scares. The aliens were as creepy looking as you would expect. The problem is, I think because we are so familiar with the aliens, we know how they operate. It makes it very hard to come up with something new to scare you, and something new that doesn't feel like it's just there to be new. My biggest problem with Alien Covenant is the way that the crew are written. My big problem with Prometheus was the actions of the crew. They were stupid and caused them problems. This, the same thing. First of all, why does every crew of a spaceship in an alien movie have to be this sort of truckers in space? This ragtag group of people, the guy with the cowboy hat, why do they have to all be the same? Secondly, and probably more importantly, and had me pulling my hair out watching it, was the stupid choices these characters made. So they're on a mission to colonize another planet, which has been picked out long before, researched, vetted. That's where they're going. They see this potential other planet and they just decide, let's go there instead. So remind me, if I'm ever a colonist going on a spaceship to colonize some other planet, I don't want to be on a ship with a Ridley Scott crew. No thank you, because they're going to screw it up. So they get to the planet, they go down to the surface, and the lack of protocols that they have for safety, basic things like checking the atmosphere, seeing if you can breathe, they just open up and go wandering out. Then while they're searching the area, finding where the signal is coming from, a couple of them split off. I'm going to do some research here. Okay, great. We'll see you on the way back. The casual disregard for things that are alien. They're on a new planet they've never been on before. They don't seem to think it's weird that there's trees or grass. They just accept it. They don't check for pathogens. Oh, big mistake. They have guys smoking as they're walking around, tossing cigarette butts onto the ground. This is an alien planet. Never mind the littering factor. You don't know what's going to happen when you put something that's from Earth onto an alien planet, or vice versa. One guy actually goes to take a pee. These are things that you would never, ever do if you're exploring space. So that bugged me. Then, of course, the one guy does get infected, comes running back to the landing ship. And what do? They don't bother with any quarantine protocols, let them on board. And of course, things go to hell. So that was my big complaint about this movie, was the way the characters acted. You just wanted to yell at them and saying, what the hell are you doing? The other thing is, every single death was telegraphed well in advance. Everyone that died pretty much went off on their own first. Again, you're on an alien planet. You would never just go off on your own. I'm going to go wander over here for a bit. No. But of course, every single time somebody does that, we've seen it in every single other alien movie, they're going to die. What saved it for me was, again, the Michael Fassbender's characters of Walter and David. They made the film. The interactions they had were great. The twist, which you could sort of see coming at the end, but then you weren't quite sure, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? And then, of course, yes, it does happen. Was quite well done. And, you know, we know, of course, that crew, that colony is in big trouble. So overall, I enjoyed it. I would say it's a good movie. Far from being a great movie, but well worth seeing. It's a nice addition to the Alien family of films. So there we go. Alien Covenant.